Good evening, race fans, and welcome to BSTV. This is the TCR Challenge, and you've joined us for Season 11, Rounds 5 and 6. If you missed the first four, you've missed a massive treat already. We are at Imola, which is a fantastic Italian track, and we're about to see lots of 1Xs get picked up by all these guys. Even though it doesn't say it in the booth with me this evening, I have Wobbly Kneecaps. Good evening.
Good evening, Pete. Looking forward to this one. Great track.
Yeah, and also in the booth with us tonight, on a not a cameo role, he's absolutely helping us out, is Russell We're Racing Cowell. Good evening.
Good evening.
Awesome stuff.
And we are racing.
We are, indeed. And it's going to be great. Russell, Imola.
Tough track for some, unless your name's Stephen Walker.
Yeah, he's topping out at the minute. Let's put the current times on here because we are in the middle of qualifying. This track, friend or foe to you, Russell?
Bet both. They've changed it a couple of times now. The limits on the track seem to have gotten worse again. So track limits is a bit of an issue for some. Originally when we first started playing the game, the track limits on this were very unkind. Then they made them kind, and now they've made them back to being unkind again, but in different places.
Yeah, it's a bit Spa-esque now. Wobbly, is this a track that you like, or is this one that bores you? I know that some of them you just find really tedious.
Well, I didn't really get along with it. I didn't want to learn it back in the day, and then I was in this championship battle with Simon Trendle, and I got forced to drive it like 16 hours just to learn it.
Right.
And ended up getting like 14x on the race. So obviously we won that championship. I find it fun the first part, and then the tires fall off, and then I just get annoyed by all the off tracks.
Yeah.
So that bit would have been a little bit better, like the size of your better. Then it would be fine.
That's funny. Let's just talk through the standings as they are at the moment. They're 7 minutes into this qualifying session now. Standings-wise, Sam Blees is top of the charts at the moment.
You're not capable of anything.
No, I'm not. Spencer McCarthy is 1 point behind him on 276 points. Gary Craig is third on 237, with Stephen Walker in fourth. We had some crashes last time out, don't forget. He's on 224, and then Simon Trendle is on 169. He was involved in some of the incidents last time as well. Then rounding out the top 10 is Matt Flannery, JB Dejoux, David Ayres, and Roger Morton, with Chris Needham holding the 10th spot. It really is all to drive for. There's 24 rounds in this series this time. There are no endurance races. We've gone with 20-minute sprint races and 40-minute feature races, with a 30% fuel limit. Russell, you've not joined us this season for other reasons, but does that setup sound like something that would be better or worse than what we had last time round?
It makes things a little bit better. It makes things more interesting when you've got shorter races. It brings a bit more strategy into it as well. With the long, obviously, you expect more strategy with the longer races, but to me, if you've got to think what to do in a 40-minute race rather than an hour-long race, the hour-long races just everyone tends to do the same thing. With a 40-minute race, people can start with different fuel levels, go all out, do a Spencer McCarthy and just randomly pit at a random time and still win the race.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there's going to be a few more moments like that, or you could cut the pits up like I heard someone did last week.
There was a couple actually, yeah. There was a couple that ballsed it up in one way or another. But yeah,
I think it brings a lot more strategy into it, like in a shorter span.
No, that's good information actually, because obviously being a racer last time, not being a racer this time, it's good to have that comparison between them. Who's that? 999 who's crashed out at the minute? It's Andrew Littler, who's he's at the side of the road there, keeping out of everybody's way while he rejoins. So who were we watching just then? So, Wobbly, you like doing track introductions, don't you?
Sorry?
You like doing instructions on how to race tracks. So here you go. They're just coming down to what is that? I can't remember. Ravazza, is it? Yeah, coming down to Ravazza here. And that car's got out of the way so that Gary can finish the lap. We're on board with Gary Craig at the moment.
So let's hope he finished.
Well, there is that. Yeah, we get caught out like that a lot, don't we? So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, so on the exit, if you want to start the fast run, I always took the wide line to get enough speed. I mean, the wider the line, the more speed you eventually get, because you just take a longer turn. So you start on the straight, keep it close on the left side. Don't touch this curb because it will slow you down, like he did. So you start braking in right at that little marker on the right side with the orange cone. Don't hit those curbs too hard, because otherwise you get spun up. Turning instantly to the right, and don't try to clip the curb, because you will descend off to the left. Take a nice wide line, because there's a lot of wiggle room. You start braking at the 100-meter board, and you move into the left. Hit those curbs really hard, throw your car back onto the right. Don't go over the wide line on the left side, because there is an off track. Start braking in at 50. There's like several ways to do this. Gary takes a really tight line. There's also like the classic line where you can make more of a V shape. So on the right hand side, you want to open up the steering wheel, crank it up, start moving into, what's this going to call? Is it Aqua Minerale? No, that's the next one.
No, this is Piratella.
Piratella, yeah. So halfway, like between the 50 and 100, you start braking in a straight line, and you release the brake without trail braking. Don't go too wide on the right hand side, and here you can almost go full throttle, cut the course over that AstroTurf, and then take a really sharp turn, and watch out that you don't hit that off track on the left hand side. That's one of the most tenacious ones to get. If you miss that, you're gonna lose the car. So you start trying to brake in a straight line again, hit that inside curve, don't go over to the right hand side too far, and just instantly turn to the left. And once you've done that, and you try to clip over that little curve, and try to maintain the speed, and if you overdo that situation, if you overdo that little left turn, you lose all the speed and all the exit speed. So then your lap is ruined. Start braking in really late. Although it's going downhill, you can still brake quite late, because the turn is faster than it seems. Turn all the way to the right, and then he got the off track, and he decides to mess up his lap. Classic Gary. Stay close to the right hand side of the wall, take the shortest line to the start-finish line, and there you got your lap.
That would have been a good lap, I think, if he hadn't done that. It looked pretty clean up to that point.
It was good. I think it was good fun.
Yeah. What was your opinion on Wobbly's track introduction there, Russell?
Better than anything I could do. I mean, the guy's stupid quick, let's be honest.
Well, yeah. Annoying is
yeah, annoyingly quick. Yeah, that's the right words. Yeah, I go with that one.
So, not long left.
You just want to bump the back of it.
Yeah. Not long left in this qualifying session. Don't forget we're in heat racing, so that it will just kick them out of the session. They don't get to complete their qualifying laps in a heat race.
Scott moved out of the way pretty nicely there.
He did, yeah. That was a good bit of sportsmanship. That he's probably trying to get the toe, but I don't think he'll stick with these guys going around the lap. This is the geodesic boys racing for position.
It's insane, mate. Did you see that Spencer and Sam are half a second quicker than Steven?
Oh God. Oh yeah, that's not funny, is it?
I think that it's kind of like season Steven is having where he can keep up with the guys in the race. But he's not particularly spot on at the moment. Oh, there he goes.
That's why he's spun off.
That's why he's not fast. Now I think he's quick enough in the races, but his quality pace compared to Sam and Spencer is not quite there yet. I'm pretty sure when he gets to grip the car a little bit better, he will be there as well.
Yeah, definitely. And for those of you that are new to watching this, or you're watching it back and you don't know who Russell is. Russell drives with Spectre 6, so expect him to be insulting his own teammates as we go through the race. There's a few of them in it. There's Stephen Walker, Matt Elmore, Tony Walker. Is that all of them?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. No Shane this season. He retired out of this series towards the end of last season. Hopefully he'll come back, because the reason that he's not racing isn't here.
So Ross, I got a question for Ross, mate. So
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Peter, we were discussing this, so we thought it would be fun to let you do an interview with the Spectre 6 guys.
Come on, guys, let it go off, man.
Yeah, okay. I don't
Okay.
mind.
Alright, that's good, mate.
Yeah, you're cool. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think you're making
I
level up
hate him,
anyway,
Pete.
Scott. Sorry,
Does he
mate.
have to be here?
I'm afraid so, for now at least. Obviously, if you're watching, give us a
Yeah,
like,
apologies, I shouldn't have,
as we always appreciate it. Makes us feel all warm and cuddly inside. There's only 15 seconds left of this qualifying session, so I think there's only Andrew Littler's going to finish a lap here. He's currently P last, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying that he's often there, but he's definitely improved. He's finishing races on the lead lap. In fact, that is the end of the session. So we're going to go to grid, folks. So your pole man for this evening is Spencer McCarthy for Geodesic Racing. His teammate Sam Blees is in second. Third is Russell's teammate Stephen Walker for Spectre 6 in third. Off fourth will be Simon Trendle for Team Chimera, with Gary Craig in fifth for BSTV Esport. Matt Elmore will go off sixth for Spectre 6 Orange. Chris Needham will go off seventh for RWC Racing Red. Eighth is Jamie Wilson for Team Chimera. Ninth will be Tony Walker for Spectre 6. 10th, Jason Haddington for RWC Racing Blue. 11th, Roger Morton for Safeguard by Result. Jason Morris will go off 12th for iRace Esports. 13th will be JB Deschutes for BSTV Esports. Scott Malcolm for Ignium Motorsports will go off 14th.
Okay.
15th will be David Ayres for Result Clothing. And his teammate, Andrew Littler, will go off 16th. So, we are on standing starts, folks. Whoops. Just in case you weren't familiar, this season we have changed. That is a full grid. Lights are on. And
Green flag, green flag.
we're racing.
We're racing!
We're racing!
There we go. Hey.
So Gary had
Right.
a really good start. He did smoke up his
Yeah.
tyres a little bit, which might have cost him.
2x2 into the first corner, Russell.
It looks like Steven is backing out of this one. Oh, he's got
Is
a
he
better
though?
exit.
Is he?
He's going really
He's got a
wide.
good exit there.
Oh, and Simon is really on it as well.
There's a bit of movement
It's
back
gonna
here.
be free wide. No, free wide. Free wide.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Oh, you
bit
missed
of
it.
inappropriate touching.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good exit again.
Oh, look at him go.
He had to step on the brakes, I think.
Need a better
He
camera.
got us in it. Still, Simon on the outside there. He's maybe able to cut back. Gary is there.
Sorry. Did put Stephen on the back marker though, because he had to let off for Sam, I presume?
I think it
Spencer?
is Sam,
Spencer.
yeah.
Spencer.
It's
Yeah.
Spencer. It's Spencer in between the two.
Oh, is it?
So
Right.
Spencer lead first, yeah.
Where Paul again? Was it Sam or Spencer? Sam. Oh, Spencer. I forgot.
I thought Spencer got pole.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, well, with such a professional podcasting.
No, Spencer did get pole. Sam
He
was
did,
in
yeah.
second. So Sam
Okay.
must have just stuck through at the start.
So we kind of renamed this cam, right?
Yeah, where is this? I have no idea. We're going to have to find that camera.
I think it's I think it's in the chicane.
That
Like-
was the chicane, the Vulcan.
No, yeah, but it come no.
That was
Wait.
the best camera ever. It was just sat there watching.
Okay,
Nothing had happened,
So,
yeah.
so start it again. They're all lining up pretty. It looked like a really quite organized. Well, a little bit of scruffing going on in the beginning, but it looked like.
It looked like a clean start.
Oh,
didn't it?
somebody's
There's
wide.
somebody
That's
really wide.
Jason Morris.
Oh, come
Scott
on, Jason.
Malcolm's going to get him here. He's got a good run on him.
Good opening lap from Sam.
Yeah. Sam Blees done well this lap.
It's really hard. You can defend on the outside here if you want to.
Yeah, because
Just
the next
break in.
turns to the right. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he's let him go. He's let him go.
Roger got a brilliant run out of the last corner on Tony.
Did he?
Yeah. And he got the move on him as well.
JB, did I hit you then?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And Tony's
no.
fighting back. Oh, is he going to stop that? Oh!
Little bit of
Ooh.
touching, just
Who's
doing
that?
car racing.
Right up a drain
Who's coming
pipe.
through there as
That's
well?
Chris
That's
Needham.
Chris Needham.
He's gonna send it.
Okay, fine.
He's not. He didn't try to.
Looks put Tony
Right.
at the back now though. He's now got. Who's he got else behind him now? Scott Malcolm's now on his tail.
Yeah, back at the front, just keeping an eye on what's happening.
Pearson on it as well.
It's all happening back here, though. This is.
Yeah, this is 5 cars here.
Yeah.
And Roger's managing to pull away from the group.
He's been fast this season.
The OP car.
They're all in the OP car.
I can say it now. I'm not
Oh, look at that.
See, from what Wobbly was saying before, Stephen's now got something to aim for with the boys being in front of him. When he's got something to aim for, like you do in qualifying, but when he's got an actual target in front of him to aim for, he's the most consistent person, and it's really annoying. But in a good way, as my teammate.
Yeah.
For me, it's really good to see, because when he cracks down, he's literally just pointing in that car at the back end of the car in front, and he'll do that all the way through the race until the move's there, if there's a move on.
Until you hit some wall in Bathurst.
Yeah, I suppose you got that.
Oh, is that Jason Morris serving a slowdown? I think it is. He's not got damage, has he? No, he's serving a slowdown.
That's unfortunate, because them 5 cars being that close together was going to get very spicy towards the end of the race, I would have thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Scott Malcolm's had a
Scott
moment as
Malcolm.
well.
Yeah. He's on a slowdown. So they're all picking him up. We thought this, didn't we? With the
Matt and Jamie are having a very close
Oh,
race.
oh! Stephen Walker nearly got into Spencer there. Perfect brake modulation, though.
That's close. He shut the door there.
He did. On board with Stephen Walker.
No, that's not Steven. This is Steven.
That's what I said. On board with Stephen Walker.
I was watching the wrong stream. Yay!
Oh, we got the curb cam again.
But where is it? I don't even know.
It's turn.
Is that turn 2?
Is it turn 1?
I don't know. We'll have to find it later.
Just we could
flip it every now and then.
No, no,
Yeah.
This one. Is it not
So-
this corner? Try
I don't know.
Try
I don't
looking
know.
at
Let's
it
try
now.
it again. No.
Oh.
So I got a good idea. So
Go on.
we gotta be stubborn. We gotta do the Clyde tactic.
What's
If it
that?
all settles down and there's nothing going on,
Oh.
we're just gonna
Oh,
with someone in the wall. Oh, Roger!
That
Did he get
looks-
sent there? That's a weird spot.
Oh, that's weird. He's got broken front suspension.
Yeah, front right.
It's on his own, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, he.
Let's have a quick look at this.
Oh, he clipped the grass. Got it completely sideways over
Right.
the corner.
Let's have a look. Usually chopper's better for these ones.
Oh,
Oh,
There's-
yes, he did.
we already
Wow.
lost it earlier. Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, in this car
Yeah,
as well.
but then he can
like-
kind of go straight. Oh, he's probably not
Nah,
got control
it's
of it.
fine.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
tried getting control, and obviously it's worked against him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This car's really bad when the tyres are cold. It's really hard to get under control when you're losing it.
Right.
I've only ever done it once at Daytona, done a 360 spinning car and going. My teammate, Matt Elmore, decided to push me around the track.
Oh yeah, that was on Daytona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I did a full 360 and going going. I thought I was a god, but I looked back and it didn't look that clean. But
So, one thing that's nice and reassuring this time round is Simon Trendle is competitive.
Yeah, so I did a couple of laps in the Civic on Imola, and I also did a couple on the Elantra, and I was only like 0.1 faster in the Elantra. I think that's also a me thing where I get along with the Civic a little bit better, but it's not about the straights. It's about tight corners. It's about technical corners. The whole track is a technical track, so the Civic really shines in those aspects. You still have that. You're still the back foot on the a little, well, especially on the main straight. But it's way better on this one than we had on Interlagos, or what was the last race again? I forgot.
Don't know.
Wait,
we missed Chris having a moment as well.
Oh, did
I
we?
just realised Tony's back up to P8.
Oh, yeah.
after everyone in front of him getting slowdowns.
That was a while ago then. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was. He had a mid-corner slide that put him off the track.
This was
Came
when
back
it
on.
was rather busy and everybody was overtaking everybody else.
Yeah.
Because he was doing all right. He stuffed it on the inside when Tony Walker and Roger got together and got himself a place. And then hey, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Always
behaviour.
close to him.
It's a bit of a slide, that.
Yeah, that's odd.
That's going down to first in that corner. If you
Yeah,
go too quickly again, it throws your car front end first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, good call, Russell.
So,
I don't know
You
it
said-
because I've never driven the OP car, so.
You said a smart thing.
Yay! We're racing!
yeah. Oh dear. So, is Spencer playing wingman to Sam?
Well, on the sprint races, I think they only start fighting in the last like 7 minutes.
Oh, right, okay. Is that an unwritten rule for them, is it?
Nah, I don't know. I'm not in a Discord with them, but I've been watching all the races with you this season, and it feels like that.
Okay.
To me, them two like to keep it very close up front. And if you've noticed, there's now the 5th car in the pack getting very, very close to this pack now.
Oh, yeah. He's closing, isn't he?
I mean,
Yes.
Gary's not exactly slow, but he's definitely gaining on them here. So they like it when there's a few people to assist them, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which,
It's great.
it's
yeah.
fine. It's
Yeah,
good,
so,
it's good racing.
Russ, do you remember that race where Spencer was not there and me and Sam were like temporary teammates for one lap on Winton?
Yes.
So we kept on backing up the whole pack, and the only reason we did that is because we didn't want to. We kept it really close, like within 0.2 seconds the whole time, so nobody could make a move on us because we hit the first car, and we were going like 6 seconds slower per lap.
Sorry, I thought we were going to get a George Russell moment.
No, yeah, yeah.
See, things like this is where Sam's now got Spencer side by side with him,
Oh. Yes. Oh.
and he's got through.
Oh, it's like
Steven's trying to do
Stevens
this.
through. Look at that now, 3 wide.
Oh my God.
The chicane, and I swear to God, Simon is going to pick up a place here.
Yeah,
it's
he's
good
got
because
to.
It's put Stephen wide.
Oh no,
It's
Steven had a
now.
really good exit. That's the difference between the Elantra and the Civic. You see that?
Yeah,
But
total
if you
drive
look now,
off the
though,
corner.
Sam managed to cover himself to stop him from getting overtaken by both cars, potentially.
Oh,
giving him
nudge.
position.
Oh,
Oh,
good
little
nudge for him.
touch.
Oh yeah, Spencer got him now. It's a right-hander.
I want a button so that when they touch like that, it can go like, "Huh?"
So that 7 minute thing I said completely
Oh,
wrong.
no. Oh.
That's
And he's-
not
yeah,
good.
Steven's
Steven
through.
got through.
Oh, and he's covered it off.
Sam,
And Gary's on the right-hand
Slow
side
down.
of Sam.
Has Sam got a slowdown, or is he managing to keep it? No, he's managing to keep it. That was very close to being a slowdown. That
It
corner
really
is an
was.
unforgivable one.
So he's lost 2 positions there. That just probably means it's a bit more interesting getting back to the front for him. Gary Craig closing in.
Is it a bad thing? I mean, now he's in front of Steven. In front. Why are the? It keeps messing with my mind. Like an S with Spencer, an S with Steven, an S with Simon, an S with Sam. It's just so annoying. Frustration.
Have you got
Whatever,
to have
but
the starting letter of your name beginning with S in this league to get in the top 5?
R or a G.
Oh, breaking the toe. Spencer's getting a bit tasty, isn't he?
He won't, because the gap will probably be. Well, the gap's a lot shorter between.
Sam
Steven
is making
and
a
Simon
move
now.
on Simon already.
He's trying.
Oh,
tire
Simon
off.
is really good on the brakes.
Yeah.
Sam got a rear tyre on the right-hand grass there. Thought he was going to be history.
And the one thing Stephen will be asking for here is to get the gap to be the same as him and Spencer to him and Simon. And the
Is
only
that-
way I think that'll happen is if Sam starts battling with Simon.
Yeah, but it's not the worst situation for Sam because he now has a better starting position for the feature race.
And Chris has got ahead of Tony again by the looks
He
of it.
has. I was going to mention that. Yeah, that's why I was on the cameras there. These two have been swapping places a few times in that last lap. Matt Elmore and Jamie Wilson. I think Matt Elmore's finally got this done. There was a bit of an exchange of position. Let's have a quick look at it because it was fairly frantic.
Down the straight, it'll be the top 10 speed on the Elantra.
Yeah, look
I mean,
at it just
these
burn
two-
past him. Look at that.
These two are quite close in pace, to be honest.
Yeah, they end up in that just outside the top 5 situation, don't they?
Yeah.
So he's just hanging it round the outside there and then gets the inside line for that left-hander.
Good driving by both.
Really nice
It's
position.
can easily go wrong.
Yep. So a bit fragmented now, and Gary's been spat out the back a little.
But it's a good thing to see that we have now
Stevens managed to
three different cars.
Oh yeah, 3 different manufacturers. Well, 3 different car types, 2 different manufacturers.
So that gap's where I said it needed to be now for Stephen to try and gain a little bit on Spencer.
Yeah.
You notice the time is very similar.
It is.
You see this, Simon. Obviously, Sam came out of the draft, but Simon is now in the draft of Stephen, and
Oh,
so.
that was a cent and a half.
It was a bit, yeah. Made it work.
But it's a Simon thing to leave enough room, because I wouldn't be surprised if he just wants to get like high up the field in the feature race for the starting position.
Right, yeah.
It's not like he's not giving it to him, but well.
I think he's very much the same as us. Like if Spencer, Sam, even Simon, become anywhere near you in a race, like we did towards the end of the season, you're like, right, at this moment is where I need to let them by, because they're going to get past you at any moment anyway.
Yeah.
So it's one of them. You either fight it, and then they get frustrated with you, and you get taken out, which doesn't happen very often. Or you have a bump with them, and then you ruin their chances of a decent race. So a lot of us tend to just stick with the people we know we can race around.
Makes sense.
I mean, there's a couple of races where me and Sam have had a decent race. We had one a couple of seasons ago, and he said it was quite frustrating trying to get past me, and I was like, I wasn't trying to be frustrated. I just wanted to race you to see how hard it is. And I wish I had a bucket underneath me after that race. I was absolutely soaking wet through. But it's good to see that these guys adapt quite well depending who they're around.
Yeah.
You see
the
that.
only problem it becomes is when there's an awkward track or part of the track where they've got to overtake someone.
The thing is that I think that Simon, again with the Pacific, has now cooked his tires a bit because he's now falling back quite quickly.
Who is? Simon. Is
Yeah.
that a Honda thing, is it?
Well, you have to compensate. Just leave it on. Just leave it on. We have 5
But
minutes.
where the
Just leave
hell
it
is
on.
it?
Doesn't matter. Just leave it on.
Good
It has
evening
like a
to Roman Ratto on the chat. Says, hope we all had a very good Christmas. We did.
Oh,
Right,
who's
there
this?
we
Who's
go.
this? Who's
Roger
this?
Moore,
That's
Roger
Roger.
Moore.
That's where's
Right,
Roger.
where's Roger?
92. He's in the. They're all coming towards it now. Keep watching it. Keep
Oh,
going back to that cam.
it's in
Go back to the gap.
Villeneuve.
Go back to the gap.
Go back to the camera quick. You're gonna
There.
see one.
Oh,
Yay! We found them.
No worries. We found him. So it's in Villeneuve. Right, there we go. Second chicane.
It's a special camera.
A special
I don't
camera in film there.
I was wondering whether it was a camera that was actually on Spa or something. Do you know what I mean? There's no cars anywhere near it. Ooh, hang on. This is getting a bit tasty now. He's within 2 tenths and he's just done the fastest lap, Stephen Walker. He's done a 1:54.38. I'll just put fastest laps on the screen so you can see them. There's quite a spread of lap times, it has to be said.
About the Honda thing, yeah, you have to overcompensate a little bit in the corner, so you go in like a little bit deeper than you really want to. So it just eats up the tires a bit quicker. Ooh, Simon was wide there, that's an X.
Simon was.
Simon was, yeah.
Right. It's a bit of a gap now. The top 3 have split off as they did in the last couple of races. What's going on here? Jason Haddington's found himself a friend. And Tony Walker here.
I'm starting to get grumpy, I still don't have my food. So, just random thought about this. Article 32. Even in a fight to the death, a bro never punches another bro in the groin.
What on earth are you doing? Oh,
Oh, here we
whoa, dear. Is he going to cover off the other move?
Oh, now it's going after the left side. It's a better exit, but I think it's too far. He's just trying to put pressure on it now. He's not. Weirdly enough, this is a really fast corner.
What you mean for a chicane?
Yeah, it's a weird chicane. It's not like a normal chicane. It's like you're still going like 4th gear.
Oh, it's getting really close between them two. Carly's just gotten past Tony.
Tony just overtook Scott? Or
No.
No, sorry.
Carly's just overtook.
We've got
Yeah,
to see
right.
this because Kylie doing an overtake without crashing or spinning. I think of.
Tried getting back past, but I think he kept the position nicely into this corner.
No, he's defended that well, hasn't he? He's given room.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a
Very
good move
nice.
by the better of the walkers.
Go back live.
So to say to Roman, because in the chat, yeah, it's only TCR because the GT4 field died a little bit, so we figured that we might as well just only get TCRs in. Maybe in the future it's gonna change. We don't know.
Yeah, and no plans for another GT3 season just yet because of BSTV not broadcasting, obviously, because we've got plenty of people that are happy to help, which I'm very, very grateful for in the form of Wobbly and Russell. But in the backroom staff, so I'm the only one at the moment for the foreseeable future, so it's a bit limiting. We'll see if that changes in the future, but by all means, come and join us for some front-wheel drive action. I know you're a rear-wheel drive aficionado, but give this a try. This is probably one of the most competitive front-wheel drive leagues in existence.
And Peter's not driving by
And
himself.
I'm not
so
driving, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that competitive, it scared me off. So these three are, as they have been for the first, well, for 3 of the first 4 rounds, inseparable, really.
Do they get points for fastest lap on the first race and the second race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which Sam's just taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I just did.
That wasn't his last lap, it was the one before it, but yeah, he's got that now. Stolen it from Stephen Walker. Stephen's under a bit of pressure now.
That might be a slowdown for Spencer though. That was very close.
Think?
No, he's got away with it. It was very close to it though. That's the corner where you go one too far and you get slow down. You're kicking yourself.
Oh, Sam got an off track.
Aqua Minerale. Are you sure?
He was out of he was not on the curb anymore, and that's the line.
Yeah.
He's burning it off very efficiently then, if that's the case.
No, an off track doesn't.
Slow down. Yeah, it's just
off track. Sorry. Yeah. Duh.
Can you say that again?
Should be. Is that the end of the race?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. As well driven by all 3 of them, to be fair.
It really was, yeah.
Close racing.
I think
Simon
that
Trendle getting a good position too.
Yeah, good fun.
I think everyone in the top
Right.
5 kept with that quite closely.
Yeah,
Gary's still trying to find his feet again, isn't he? So
He is, and
yeah.
the Velocitor's not as competitive, really.
well, that's where I always. That's my counter argument. The Veloster can be as competitive as the Elantra. It's just harder to drive to be at that stage.
No, that's a good statement to make. Yeah.
Because you put Spencer. No offense to Gary. Gary's not been in the league for a while now, has he? I think did he have 1 season off or 2 seasons?
2
3
seasons.
Three,
Three.
right? I think it's 3.
Oh right, okay.
Because
Either way,
It
these
doesn't
guys
matter,
continued, didn't they? And you put Spencer in that car, and he was still winning races week on, week out, coming out with ridiculous pit strategies and beating everyone by 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in that same car. So, it'll take Gary some time, but, I mean, Spencer's driven that car in 2 leagues now. So, he's going to be getting used to it. Obviously, he's come out of it for this season because he wanted to be in the car that everyone's in.
Yeah, and did you see what happened on the last lap in terms of fastest lap?
Yeah, I saw that.
Stephen Walker whips it back out from underneath the geodesic boys. So we're just waiting now on the final runners. That's Andrew Littler. And then, much delayed, is Roger Morton. But he's finishing the race, which gets him the points.
Feel sorry
think
for Roger.
that-
He's got pace this
Yeah,
season.
oh, yeah, he's got loads of pace.
he's
yeah.
spot on. He already had. Pete, do you have the standings of the driver in the meeting?
Yeah, so there's only 2 combatants at the minute, Roger Morton and Tony Walker, both on 2 points each. Right then, let's go to results. So your winner of round 5 was Spencer McCarthy for Geodesic Racing. Stephen Walker finished 2nd for Spectre 6. Sam Blees in 3rd, finishing off the podium for Geodesic Racing. And then we've got Simon Trendle for Team Chimera and Gary Craig for BSTV Esports. Matt Elmore finished 6th for Spectre 6 Orange, with Jamie Wilson in 7th for Team Chimera, and Chris Needham will lead the field away for the 2nd race tonight. He finished 8th for RWC Racing Red. His sister teammate Jason or Kylie Haddington finished 9th for RWC Racing Blue. Tony Walker finished 10th for Spectre 6. 11th was Scott Malcolm for Ignium Motorsports, and then we had JB Dejoux, Jason Morris, David Ayres, Andrew Littler. Roger Morton finished off the field for that particular round. So, any surprises in that? I don't think there was from my perspective. We had the same 3 which have been fighting out all season in the top 3.
I guess you could call it. It's not a surprise because we already mentioned it to begin with. That on the qualifying laps, Spencer and Sam were on another level, and then the race started, and you see like to the 15-minute mark. You see 5 cars fighting it out for the first, actually for the first place, because either one of them could have won that. Even Gary and Simon were in the mix there. So I think that's, if you can call that a surprise, yes, it is the same cars, but compared to the quality difference, I guess you could call it a surprise.
Yeah, true. And Russell, Spectre 6 showing well, really, weren't they, in that one? And where did Tony finish? Tony finished 10th. Stephen finished 2nd, obviously. That's going to do his championship, the World of Good. There's a lot to go at for combating these geodesic boys, though, isn't there?
Yeah, I think he's just consistent, is Stephen, when it comes to racing. I'm not going to keep talking about my teammates, but he is consistent when it comes to this sort of thing. He's now got Sam to battle with again, though, with Spencer shortly behind him. I think seeing these guys come through the field now will be quite exciting, especially for the 2nd race.
I got me some food. Sorry.
Seeing how they'll end up tackling these guys in front will be good to see. I kind of feel sorry for Chris at the same time, because I know what it's like being at the front of this pack, and you see them cars coming at you. I mean, you've got Mr. Angry Bee,
yeah,
which is Stephen Walker in the bright yellow car, and then everyone else seems to be in a dark car. So it's quite a scary thing to see when you've got all these multicoloured cars coming at you into turn 1, especially around here.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I've been the unfortunate recipient of a reverse grid pole before a couple of times, and it's terrifying. It was in V8s for me, and some of those guys in V8s, they're just so fast, so much faster. It's just eye-watering. The half the field get you by the first turn, and then you're just clinging on for dear life, trying not to crash into them or the furniture. So it is very intimidating.
What was the lap differences between these guys?
I've lost it now, so I can't tell you.
So I'm not going to look now.
Nice
so
one.
Chris's fastest lap was a 1:55.
1:55, so that's 1 and a bit seconds slower than the
1
fast
second
guys.
slower than the fast guys. So
Right, that's big.
I'm not going to say that's a lot of time.
Yeah.
Chris can be quick in these cars. Like obviously he's naturally a GT driver. Having seen him race last season, there was a few races where he had collisions and whatnot, but he's not a backmarker by
Oh no, definitely
stretch.
not.
So being a second up round here is quite a big thing.
I'm just seeing Stephen Walker there doing starts. He's doing another one now. Now, I tried doing an official race, which was a standing start, and I absolutely cocked it up good and proper. What's the secret, either of you? Wobbly, have you done a standing start in this?
Well,
Right, he's full of food. Russell?
Yeah, so a button clutch is not the way to go.
A button clutch is not, right. Well, that's me
No.
screwed then, isn't it? Because I don't
Yeah.
have a foot clutch.
So these guys, well, a lot of them either have a second paddle they can use on the back of the wheel,
Right.
or a clutch. Now, it's a case of clutch all the way down, get ready, like have it in first, clutch and accelerator up to a biting point, let off the clutch, go, kind of thing. If you get the sequence completely wrong, obviously you know yourself, you get a flag, you got a pit. So you have to make sure you're just after the timer, but it's whose reaction is quicker. And before, as you saw, Sam's reaction to it was a lot quicker than Spencer's. So
yeah, very much so.
doing
I mean,
it with a button,
must be
it
fine
was
lines,
hard
though,
work.
is it? Must
Yeah,
be very fine.
it is literally fine lines. It's all about getting that biting point. If you get the wrong biting point, even if you're 1% over, the amount of speed that someone that is on the biting point they get is ridiculous.
Okay. So we'll go through the starting grid for round 6. I've extended the start time. So Chris Needham will be your pole man for RWC Racing Red. Jamie Wilson will go off second for Team Chimera. We saw him try and get away once in a previous race, so we'll see what happens with him. Matt Elmore will go off third for Spectre 6 Orange. Gary Craig off fourth for BSTV Esport. Simon Trendle will go off fifth for Team Chimera with Sam Blees in sixth. For Geodesic Racing, Stephen Walker will go off 7th for Spectre 6, and your round 5 winner, Spencer McCarthy, will go off 8th for Geodesic Racing. Then we've got Jason Haddington for RWC Racing Blue, Tony Walker for Spectre 6 in 10th, Scott Malcolm in 11th for Ignium Motorsports, JB Dejoux for BSTV Esport in 12th. 13th is Jason Morris for iRace Esports, David Ayres in 14th for Result Clothing, his teammate 15th, Andrew Littler, and Roger Morton bringing up the rear of the field this time, so he's got a bit of work to do to make his way through.
I'm devouring this food, mate. It's great.
What is it you're eating, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know how you guys call it. We call it roti.
Well done. We don't know what that is.
That sounds nice.
It's potatoes with things and other things, and with chicken.
Do you mean a jacket potato?
No.
Or a baked potato?
I'll send an image to both.
Please don't. Right, lights are on.
My dick.
And ignoring wobbly are off, and they are launched.
Start from Jamie.
Yeah, look, that's Simon Trendle has threaded the needle fully. Oh, and somebody's off the track.
Someone's been crashed. Matt Elmore's been taken out.
Hang on a minute.
There's like 4 cars taken out here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's completely lost control.
That's all gone. That's all gone wrong.
Caution, yellow flag.
Let's have a look at that again.
Sorry, I didn't realise I had 2 cars on my inside there.
Right then, all sorts of chaos. I think everybody was involved.
Scott was involved. JB.
It was Gary clipped. By the looks of it, what happened there?
Right, so let's have a look at this. Where did it start? It's kind of started around.
It was
Spencer.
2 teams. No.
Oh look! Oh, it's already happened here.
Unfortunately, Matt Elmore got caught up with Chris and Gary.
Right.
He slowed down, I think, to try and get out of it, but his teammate, Stephen Walker, was very close to his rear, and I think it was just too many people in one little gap. It wasn't like no one to blame really. Gary's already apologised, saying that he didn't realise there was that many people there.
Right.
You don't expect someone to be completely off the track at the start of the race.
No, you don't. No.
Scott was an innocent bystander as well. He almost got through.
I think Chris was just trying to get out of the way because his start was. Oh, that's what happened. Chris got pushed off. The fact that Matt got a really good start with Gary.
Right, so we're still watching the replay of this. We're watching. Right, so Chris Needham did not get away. Gary didn't know he had a
Six.
car on his inside,
Yeah.
and then it all kicks off behind him. So, whoa, where are we going to have this all pan out then?
So is Chris back in the lead again? Or...
No, Jamie Wilson is currently lead car.
We blame Gary for this.
Simon
Yeah.
Trendle, his teammate, threaded the needle, absolutely. In fact, we need to go back to that start and watch this, because I think this is going to be spectacular to watch. Simon Trendle's start. So Chris Needham doesn't go.
He
Threads
got
that one,
start.
and that
He
one.
got Gary and Matt at the same time, didn't
Yep. And the two-team Chimera boys get away clean.
So who have we got in the pits still?
In the pits, we have Spencer McCarthy, Jason Haddington, Scott Malcolm, JB Dejew, Roger Morton, and Matt Elmore. I think they are waiting for a fast repair, to be honest. Sorry, a tow. Because there's no way some of those cars are making it all the way around Imola back to pit road.
When are you going to release the back?
When am I going to what?
Simon.
Release the fuel? Like when are you going to stop the safety car yellow position?
It's on automatic, so
Oh, okay.
it'll wait for them to reform.
So we've got Jamie in first, Simon second, Sam in third, Gary, and then Stephen.
Yeah, so for Sam and Stephen, not so much damage in their, title hopes, I guess. But Spencer McCarthy is probably the biggest scalp that's been taken there, would you say?
Yeah. Again, though, I think that was just too many cars in one tight space. If one car gets a really slow start behind here, well, in the TCRs, the amount of cars trying to power through, if anyone does get a decent start, it's quite hard to manage that many cars going through one little gap.
Yeah.
That's all that's happened there. Didn't see what
Jamie,
happened to JB, though.
JB, I think, just got caught up at the back of it all. Jamie Wilson will want the race to stop now because at the moment he's got fastest lap. A 2-minute fall. So
That's the first time.
Oh.
JB got caught. He slowed down to get away from it. And whoever that was that came across, I presume it was Spencer, that was just bouncing off the walls.
Has he got ping pong, does he?
Yeah, he got collected from behind. Obviously, he got collected, spun around. Someone collected the back of him, and he's just pinged it off the wall into the front end of JB.
Right, okay. I was supposed to watch people joining the booth for interviews, but I've forgotten to do that. So, never mind. Right, so lights are still on the safety car at the moment, whilst it waits for the field to form up. There's loads of cars still in the pits. Spencer, Jason, Scott, JB, Roger and Matt. But even then, if they rejoin, 10th place still gets you a bag full of points. So
yeah, that's what I was to say. It's really worth it just to go out there because it was such a big incident.
Yeah.
And it looks like Matt Elmore will get the benefit of pitting if he managed to get to the pits earlier. I don't know how it falls under for the guys.
No, that's true. Not
he's
sure.
The car at the front. He's the car at the front of the pits currently. Oh, so JB's on his way out. So is Spencer.
Yeah, got those two on camera. They're the only two move. Oh no,
Scott's coming out now.
he is. Matt Elmore's just launched, as has who's that behind him?
Kylie.
Oh, it's
And
Kylie.
Roger. We're all on the way out now.
Okay.
Yeah, so be right back. I'm gonna clean up this map.
So you're gonna have Spencer, JB, Scott, Matt, Kylie, Roger.
Yeah, all
that
lap
order
down. So the tow round here must be massive.
It will be, yeah. But it's whether or not they've got quick repairs, haven't they?
Yep.
Let's hope they all switched them on.
Well, they've all left in very similar times, haven't they? So I would expect they all have done. They were all 3 minutes or so delayed.
Everyone go to the left or right, or stay one side. Go to the right, everyone, please.
Spencer's telling people to stick to the right so we can get through, which makes sense.
Yeah, we are unlapping the field. So we may be under caution for a little while, folks. Lights are still on the safety car. It's just a feature of this, but don't forget it's an hour-long race with 7 minutes. Sorry, a 40-minute race, 7 minutes in. So there's plenty of racing still to come, and we've still got the carnage to review again, I suppose.
Think you guys can unlap yourself, can't you?
Oh, it's now telling us they're back behind 999, unless TCR black flag or something when we go past.
Telling me to let you all by.
Just telling Jason to let more by.
They got me behind the 999. Well, that's me.
Yeah, so they need to unlock
I don't
themselves
know
and then
if
go
there is
back
procedures
behind.
for unlocking themselves. I don't remember reading it in the rules. I don't remember reading it. Safety car, yellow flag in the rules. Any chance of anybody clarifying it?
They can't see my chat either.
It's telling me to let 99 car by, which is Matt.
Which doesn't make sense because you're in front of us.
Can you tag to them?
Look where you are there, Andrew. It's telling me to pass 52.
Yeah, 10 last one lap, everyone.
Yeah, he's just said it. He's just read it. Matt Elmo's just said it out loud on there.
Do it. If it's telling you to do it, do it.
Well, it's not going to start until they do it, so they need to. Don't think they're doing it though. Nope.
Minutes of this is boring, fellas. What's
Let
going
me
on?
jump in. I'll go tell him, Pete. I'll get Spencer to relay the
We
message.
go green this time.
Oh, Gary's saying they're going green. Was the first car out? Let's see if it lets him go.
Hi. Okay.
Hey!
I'll let Jimmy know.
Everyone stay right to let the wave roads by.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it
Thank
separate.
No.
It'd be easier for someone to come in the game chat and tell us.
Pete, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I'll go tell my lads.
Thank you, everyone.
Pete, you need to extend it because it's 1 to green. Don't ask the same smart questions. I guess. I don't know.
We need to find out how laps that are down.
2 to green. If the car gets to green, iRacing. There's a command apparently for it. If the car, if the safety car passes the line, then it's 1 to green. So then it's going to live. But yeah, no, it's exclamation mark pace laps 2. I think.
Hang on.
Come on, Pete, start
green.
typing, otherwise
Not
you're too late.
Going green.
Pace laps 2, I think. No, it's space bar between it.
Yeah, he's done it.
Yeah.
The rest will be open before we go green.
Yeah, so I only did that because Sam mentioned something, and I was checking out that Jimmy was in confusion about whether he could go through or not. So I just tried to inform the the races while what's going on.
Has anybody got an idea how long we keep this up for?
Go green this lap, Andrew. It was so that the cars that were waved around them on the same lap as us still racing. Otherwise, they were going to be half a lap behind.
Aren't they still going to be 3 laps down, or am I don't understand?
What was that? Sorry, I'm listening to these guys in the
They
game
should be
chat.
on the same lap because you gained a lap with towing, and we only went past the pits once before they came out.
I think the two boys in the front will
back the lap that they lost, so they should still
lead
be on
away.
the lead lap.
I think
at the back of the
Jamie and Simon will
Okay, I thought we were past the pits
pull away.
3 times before they came out.
I think Gary will put a bit of pressure on Sam, and
Yeah, he went past
Stephen
twice.
will be putting pressure on Gary.
Yeah, we went past twice, but they count that one of them they gain as a tow. So when you tow, you get +1 lap. So they should be. I think they're on the lead lap now. Where's the pace car? It's got about halfway
So
around.
this is gonna be fun with the fuel strategy because they were able to save a lot of fuel. And the other guys who came back at the rear, they're just trying to get there as quickly as possible. It's like a short race, so it's gonna be a weird situation where they find themselves in.
And the one thing you've got to remember through this, it's all Gary's fault.
It's all Gary's fault.
If it wasn't for Gary.
Well, I'm gonna tell. So I went to. Yeah, I told. So I just jumped in a channel and just said, Gary, it's all on you, mate. Thank you.
Roger Morton's second fastest on the track.
It almost felt like the Clyde safety car thingy. They don't get. I don't think they're gonna catch up in time.
What I would probably say after this. What I would say after this, Pete, it might be worth looking at how we. A lot of them are going to be confused about how that's worked. The safety car. Yeah. Yes. Yep. All planned. We're racing.
Yeah, and he's got to wait as long as he possibly can because of the long straight. It's like a Lewis Hamilton situation where he's just annoying.
He's gone.
Ooh, that's early.
No, he's gone because he didn't realise his teammate was sat behind him, slowed everyone down. I like that.
And you see Sam already trying to line himself up, but there's Gary right in the rear.
Gary going through it as well.
Yeah, on the right side. Is he going to? I don't think he's going to. Oh, on the left, Tony Walker is doing a move.
Oh, I heard something. Oh, someone had a bit of
a Ooh, that suspension looks weird. Just. Oh, this is really close. Oh, that's a ballsy move and a nice one.
And
I can't understand a word the guy says, but it was a nice move.
Oh, he's pulled Matt Elmo.
Oh, there's someone over the. Oh, yeah, he was over. Oh, James Morrison, was it? Jason Morris, he was. Yeah, he clipped the grass and then came across the yeah. Oh, and Sam is trying to get the hammer down.
So what happened with Jason? He came out the corner quite quickly.
Yeah.
He caught the outside of the grass, which obviously sent whoever it was beside him. Scott Malcolm followed him through. Matt Elmore got the in way through.
Ooh,
but
that's yeah, that's something.
It sent a few people into the back of him. Yeah.
It's not Roger Morton's race.
Roger and Andrew Litter all got into each other.
Okay, boys, I'm behind you.
He's behind Tony right now.
Managing to close this gap on Gary quite nicely, and these five are all staying quite close together again.
They're gonna separate after, well, let's say like 30 minutes in. They did manage to, they were able to save their tires now.
Oh, Sam's going for it.
He's lining himself up for this move on the right turn back. Ooh, cross back, and it's a really good exit. Steven barely held the car, and Gary's gonna go for it. No, we don't cheer for Steven, and we don't cheer for Gary. We cheer for Tony.
He's shouting. Gary was shouting. Gotta go listen to that.
Oh, he hit that curb completely wrong.
Look at everything's not fully warmed up yet.
Gary shouting, "Send it to Stephen."
Keep going. I could have had to go back at you, but I was letting you pull me back there.
Yeah, they're both in the Civic. And,
Slide there. Sam is
oh,
gone.
that's a save! That's a save! He's that's a slowdown as well, I guess. It's Sam's putting pressure on Simon there. It's just a fault being made just due to that.
Sam is really good at doing that, to be fair. You see Sam in your mirrors, you're like, yeah, he's putting lots and lots of pressure on you.
That's what she said.
Probably. I think it was Andrew that took the brunt of it. He ran into the back of Roger.
Ooh. He's trying to make a move on JB. Yeah.
And Roger coming through, look at that.
Oh, there's no room there, Roger.
That's what she said. Look at Stephen and Sam now, the bumper to bumper.
Making a move with this chicane. Ooh, a little tap.
He's just letting you know he's there.
Jamie was really wide there as well.
And Stephen's got to run through. But he's on the outside again, unfortunately.
No, but he could try to cross back on this corner.
Yeah,
whoa, and there's Simon. No,
yeah.
I don't look on the inside. Just turn in.
Again, that's what she said.
Just turn in?
No. I don't look on the inside.
Well, at least you had the mirror.
Spencer's managed to get back.
He caught up really. Oh, like a chain reaction going through there because Gary had to hold back on Simon. I think that he's gonna let go. So, I just want to mention that the front runner did a 56, and look at Spencer's time. It's almost, yeah, like a second, 1.7 seconds faster.
And to take into effect is, will Spencer have to pit again?
Yeah, but then again, they were standing still quite while the others were driving.
Possibly. They're even because obviously you said it yourself, wobbly.
Sorry.
The guys at the back were pushing the car around while these.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't. Well, if you look at how long it took for them to tow, while the others were driving.
It was 4 minutes tow.
Yeah. So.
Oh. Sam.
Oh, that's Jamie.
Sorry, JB.
Yeah.
Trying to.
So Sam and Stephen now fighting each other.
You look
Right there.
Safe re-entry,
Holding
though.
well.
So the top 5's changed again.
Did he got a shot? Was
No,
it
he went wide.
Ah.
I think he tried keeping it, but as you know, around here, it's not.
Ooh.
It's that
Yeah.
bump right on the last
It's
corner.
that. Yeah, exactly. It's like that curve which I was talking about. Hit that too hard and you're off.
Sorry, that's why I let you pass them.
Yep.
Gary's still keeping with these guys.
Holding well there, Jason.
He's got Spencer pushing him around the track.
I figured that they're gonna have it down now.
Fair play to Chris Needham. He's keeping with him as well. He's not far off Simon.
Mate. Okay, he did a really good job that season, but I got killed on one race and I missed like 6. And
Oh,
still
Walt's going for the move.
I got killed.
Stephen nearly went for the move there on Sam.
But they're really close, and he's getting pushed by Spencer.
Oh, Spencer's going for the move now, though, was he? He's on the inside.
Oh, he's on the inside, yeah.
And the
That's
toll
why
from that Elantra will be absolutely ridiculous. If you notice, Stephen's come out of it now.
Oh, he's already passed him. Hey, he's going for the double move.
He's got them both because he's got the inside line.
Yeah. And now Gary's right next to Stephen as well. Send it!
I wish I could tell him that in game.
Oh, maybe you could switch channels. Ooh, and Spencer's giving a little look.
Yeah, he's seen a little bit of a gap, thinking, do I go or do I not?
That's what she said.
No, she didn't.
Well, she wanted a double victory. If you do a free sim, is it a is it a double victory? I didn't say the thing about Michael Phelps. You know what it is. Ah well. Michael Phelps was good at racing as well. That's a move. That's Sam. Was that contact? Oh, how the hell did he pull that off going straight?
He didn't. I think he was just trying to avoid. It was the braking. Nah, he clipped the He clipped the grass again. He's touched the grass on the way through, and the car's gone back end first. But it's that grass again, and that grass is so sticky that it...
You know what else is sticky?
Nothing. A stick.
And it's given to him again, like the last race.
But we know how this goes, right? We know how this goes. Stephen Walker's still on the track. Mr. Second himself. He'll be pushing for it now. If you look a little bit further back, look which two we've got racing now with Sam.
I don't think that Jamie has
He's
the fit.
keeping quite closely to Simon as well, still.
Yeah, I don't think that Jamie has the pace to keep up with Sam though.
It's quite hard to get back by on that straight if you don't have the run through, but because she's been overtaken, it's hard to keep that run.
So Spencer just did the fastest lap and is not really putting a gap on them. And to see that he came back on track after that main big incident. And how good your wave around was.
I'm telling you now, that pit was that was his strategy all along. It is Spencer. He always pulls it out of the hat.
Now, well, at least he has fuel now.
With it being a 40-minute race, you know they might have the fuel because
they've been tanked up, right?
Well, did he fuel up? Because they all came out quite quickly. So they all came out roughly at the same time. There was only 1 or 2 cars that had a delay, but that could have been a delay with them towing.
Matt definitely filled up, I think.
I mean, I can go find out, get some inside information.
We don't want we don't want a professional broadcasting. Come on.
Oh, sorry. That's what she said.
Doesn't matter which comment. That's what she said. Oh, that seems like a... Yeah,
And Sam is slowly but surely gaining on Chris.
Matt closed the door properly. This is
our
Jason.
first pit. It's Jason.
This is heading. Was he involved into the crash?
He was.
Is this a driver's shame? Maybe.
No. Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the 4X and then all the things after.
That's if he just got a 4. If he came off the track as well. But you can get a 4 times and an off track. And a loss of control. So you can potentially get 7 points in one incident.
It looks like.
And Sam is on the back, Chris.
And Spencer is still increasing the gap, just a little by little. He's not going that fast as like the previous laps.
No, but Stephen's also losing Gary bit by bit now that Simon is battling with him. It'll be interesting to see how quickly Sam tries to get past Chris. If there's such a term as quickly. Because he'll be pushing to get back through, won't he?
I think that Gary's not really going to defend this one.
I think he will.
Nah, he won't.
No, he's not.
I know. No, I think that the fighting him, holding him back for like still 9 minutes left, and seeing that the pace Simon is producing tonight, I don't think he has an answer to it.
It'd be quite good to see who else pits now. Because Jason still managed to keep ahead of Andrew. I don't know how that's worked.
Yeah, definitely.
After pitting. Oh, it was a pit of shame anyway, wasn't it? It wasn't a fuel run or anything.
Yep.
And
Sam just got, yeah. Probably on the braking.
Chris ain't letting him go though, he's still pushing back.
Ooh, no. He's gotta let it go down. Yeah. Let it go.
Please don't sing.
I was going to say
Let
that's
it
one thing I
go!
said to the team that I wasn't looking forward to being in here with Wobbly, and then we both end up singing to you. Like we did in the endurance race that time to keep his run away.
That was funny.
What did we sing again? Like, wet, wet, wet or something?
Yeah.
Right? It was that one, right? I feel
not
it in my finger.
I'm
Let's not get
getting
the
nervous
NCA.
twitch already.
Yeah, that's not good. Just use your right foot then, Pete.
Yeah, motivational driving by wobbly kneecaps.
Oh, that was a good corner, Pete, if you're like a snake.
Yeah.
Oh, a snail, sorry.
Snail.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Elmore still trying to get the better of Jamie Wilson.
Ooh, Matt is going in.
Oh dear, that was
Both going
close.
Jamie was not involved into the crash
No.
and still has to pit.
So does Matt, and Matt was a part of it.
Yes.
So this is interesting.
Oh,
Who's
and
got
Matt is
might have
Matt is
stopped.
shifting up and back and forward. I can see. You cheeky bastard.
Let's see how he gets this start because he's been practicing these pits.
Right. Jamie's gone. That was a proper splash and dash.
Splash and dash, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't much in that. So maybe if some of them have fuel saved around the lap, if you can round here very well. We've got JB and Roger Morton now in the pits as well. Roger's setting off.
You could bet 10 quid that Sam, Spencer, and Stephen can all fuel save.
Yeah, but Sam wasn't part of the crash, was he? It was Spencer.
No,
Yeah,
but you could
Sam's
push
also
around.
gone back the field, so if Gary and Simon have to pit because they've been full on all the way around the track,
Yeah.
Sam may become back in the top 3 from just a little bit of a fuel run.
Because of all the height changes, you're able to, well, definitely behind the safety car, just go in neutral half the time.
Right, okay. I wonder if they thought to do that, though. I suppose they will have done, weren't they?
Yeah, if they didn't, then they shouldn't be
The
allowed
only
in the league.
person that didn't is going to be Spencer because he was full throttle trying to get back to the back of the pack.
That's a
Wasn't
good point, yeah.
he? So Spencer might be the one that has to come in. Next.
You say things, Russell. That's good.
He's in.
Oh,
And now I'm curious to see what Steven is gonna do.
Stephen's going
Steven
again.
stays out.
As are
Now
these
Stephen-
guys. Ooh.
Is good at saving fuel. These are all the people that didn't crash.
Yeah.
So these will have at least 2 laps on Spencer, is what I was thinking.
Right, okay. That's
2 laps
interesting.
is enough to finish the race.
No,
Oh!
we're gonna have 3 laps.
No, it's 1 minute 55 a lap.
Yeah, and it's 35 minutes, and they crossed the finish line before there was 4 minutes left.
37. It's 37:27.
It's just 35.
35:13 is the race time. That'll be the
Oh,
session
yeah, I'm
time that
looking
you're
at
looking
laps
at.
time, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's got Malcolm in the pits.
You fit right in, Russ.
Yeah.
Go back in my hole.
Causing all the confusion.
Yeah.
So, did you know that Stalin was from Georgia?
Where's this guy? Oh, we've done this one already.
Twice, Kylie.
Oh, what's JB saying?
Something about twice.
Oh, Kylie's got a pit again.
Ah, right, for fuel this time.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is. Stop for his fuel. No tyres. Don't need tyres in these races.
And Matt is slowly but surely gaining on Jamie again.
He's closing for sure. Who still owes us a pit stop? So Stephen Walker, Simon Trendle, Sam Blees, Gary Craig, Chris Needham, and Tony Walker.
Tony Walker.
The better of the walkers.
The better of the walkers. They're all. Can they do this?
I could probably put. I don't know. I think.
I think they can. I think
they
at
can,
least
because
not
look at the
not
times they've been doing.
yeah, not all
They've
of
not
them.
been doing blistering times. They've been saving fuel as they're going around.
Yeah,
True.
it's not all of them. Maybe like 2 or 3 who could pull it off. I don't. My gut say that Chris didn't really fuel save.
Right.
And there goes Chris.
And there goes Chris.
Oh, I could go on Sky Sports.
You,
Man,
you
come on.
could, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, please don't.
Is it
They already have Paul the Resta, which is worse enough.
Ooh.
I mean, it's going to be
Fighting
worse when
talk,
Jason
that.
Plato does commentary, right?
Tony Walker has had to pit as well. So does that
Paul the
mean?
rest is the worst guy ever. Sorry, go ahead.
So does that mean that the top 4 will have to pit now? So we've got Gary, who's a bit alone at the minute because of this. Sam, who's not alone because he's got a friend, Simon Trendle, and Stephen Walker's not that far ahead. None of these guys have pitted. Sorry?
Hello.
What do you say, Russ?
The one thing we've got to be watch out for here is they haven't been doing the 54s they were capable of from race 1.
No,
They've
true.
all been doing the high end of the 54s.
Yeah.
So if they're coasting round corners, around here, I guarantee all of them could make a lap up.
We could like go on board with someone. Hint, cameraman.
Who's that then?
I don't know. I was still waiting for
Probably
Sam,
not
but
a good idea to get someone in the tow, so we'll do Simon here.
You're not going to see the field gates, are you?
No, no.
No, but you can hear him lift off.
Yeah, you can hear the revs.
Yeah, true.
See.
Well, we're talking.
Oh,
they
he's
must
off
be on,
early.
They've got green flag now. White flag, right? This is the last lap.
Do you think?
Well,
No,
it's a 2-minute lap.
the last lap start now.
Ah, right,
So-
okay.
and they've not pitted. They've all stayed out.
Oh, right,
Barney,
okay.
is Barney waving it? Is it Barney? I forgot.
Yeah, Barney. We'll look for him. Is he left or right on this track?
He's not
right,
there.
isn't he? Yeah, he
No,
is.
he's
There
there,
he
he's
is.
Oh,
there
he
he
was
is.
there, yeah. He was
The
there.
most enthusiastic flag ban ever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what I dreamed
Just
to be
joining,
like.
just joining everything just to throw that flag out.
So did Gary pit or did
No,
he stay out?
stayed out.
No, I think that he's short of you and he's just now realizing he has 15 seconds on
Yeah.
Spencer.
Yeah, and he's just coasting now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing that thing which
We
I
missed
did
it,
to
but
beat Tyler
Matt
on
Elmore got past Jamie.
Oh, he's well off the gas. He must be really marginal on fuel.
Pete, do you remember that race on Fiddle Pilot?
Yeah. That was so funny.
I think that was my best not meant strategy ever.
Like not even looking at the gas pedal.
Not even touching it the whole
Yeah.
lap.
So Stephen Walker, Simon Trendle and Sam Blees fighting it out. Sam seems to have dropped off the back of Simon for a moment now.
Yeah,
has he given it up?
Yeah, and don't forget that they're all previous champions, like the whole.
Oh yeah.
So they all know what it takes to pull this one over the finish line.
Gary's not dropping massively anymore off these guys, so maybe he's saved enough now to get to the end.
Is that SDK doing weird
This will be the
things
bit you
on
want to watch
hills?
now. He's watching these guys go through all this now, see how slowly actually group up.
Yeah.
SDK does weird things with height, so I guess he's still dropping a bit.
Yeah, he's dropped another
very early.
second.
Oh, and is somebody gonna stutter over the finish line? That would be
Well, we'll
massive.
find out.
There we go.
He's got it. Steven got it. He's already flashing his light.
Yep.
There you go. Well done to Stephen Walker. Spec 6.
Oh, and good.
Oh dear!
Oh,
that was Simon.
He lost the fuel.
Simon
Yeah, he
ran out
lost
of
the
fuel. Gary got across the line, but yeah. Simon
Oh man, that's
Trendle.
what I meant.
Fuel.
Oh, that's crazy.
We've still got to get Simon in the booth for that.
Oh, we have to.
He's
We can.
He'll be
he's
crying
probably not
still.
coming in. Oh, and it's such a great sight to see that Russell is gonna interview Steven.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. If I have to, I'll do it. I don't mind.
Oh
There
no!
you go. This
Oh, that's another one.
Chris
That's
Needham
was it
out of
Chris?
fuel.
How did Chris pitted, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, but he's got no fuel.
How?
Don't know.
That's weird.
Is Tony Walker
Did he
gonna
fit?
get him? No, he
Yeah,
can't.
he
He's
fit it. He
miles
fit it.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair play for Tony as well. That's
Yeah, it's a good
result
result.
for him.
Yeah, good result.
Yeah.
Roger as well. Roger's getting back through the pack. And JB.
After getting tied up in 2 crashes, Roger Morton.
Yeah.
Scott Malcolm involved in the very first one. Done well to get to the finish. Kylie was fighting with Scott, so something's happened there to split him up.
We did well just to lose one driver out of all that.
Yeah,
I know David Ayres quit out before the race. But
he did. He'd have probably won it if he'd just stayed in it.
Yeah.
So we didn't mention the guy, but I missed one name in the field today. It's like I miss two guys. I miss Carl Hardy because he's being a pussy, and I miss Matt Flannery.
Right, yeah.
And my money is always on Matt.
So, let me play with some stuff.
That's what she
That's
said.
not what she said. We'll set this away like that. We shall do this. So, incredible events tonight, wasn't it? I'm going to play this in very slow motion from the green flag. So you'll watch all the carnage, folks, as we wait for people to join the interview room. I mean, we're going to get races like this, aren't we? It's unavoidable, where people pile into one another off the start, especially with the reverse grids. Some of the guys at the top end are very, very efficient at doing race starts, and therefore the ones that are not well practiced or don't have a foot clutch, like you were saying, Russell, they're going to get caught up in incidents like the one on the screen, right?
Yeah. If you've not got a clutch, and if you're using a button especially, you've literally got no way of feathering that clutch, or you're full on or full off on the clutch. And it's really hard to juggle being on the clutch and making sure you get the right biting point. If you miss that slight 1 or 2% above, as you saw from Chris's start, it just doesn't go anywhere.
No.
And unfortunately, everyone behind you is like, oh, there's a car going really slow in front. We all need to go into the middle. And having 4 or 5 cars all go in the middle at once is always going to cause an incident.
It is. Thankfully, I think that we did the right thing with the yellow there, giving the guys with the fast repairs the chance to rejoin and be competitive in the race. It didn't favour them in the end, did it? Because they still had to pit for fuel, wobbly.
Yeah, and I feel like they misjudged that situation because they were already in the pits, so they could have easily filled those cars up. And it's quite a surprise that nobody thought of that. Not even for the likes of Spencer, for example. But then again, I guess it's a hectic situation. You want to get back as quickly as possible. Easy to forget this kind of thing.
Yeah, and we saw some people running out of fuel at the end, so Simon Trendle was probably going to be ripping his hair right out of his head, Russell. I've ended up in a situation similar to that. Have you ever had to lose positions for running out of fuel?
Yes. Yeah, I have. Unfortunately, it happens, and it's one of them you can try. I am not a fuel saver. The first time I learned how to fuel save was when we all did that endurance, and I had Gary literally talking me around 5 laps to get me to know how to fuel save. We've had a race before very similar where in one of the officials I ran out of fuel. I think it was Daytona on the last corner going onto the oval. So you can imagine what that was like. Because you don't just lose one place, you lose all your positions.
Yeah.
And it can be very frustrating knowing that you've gotten that far. I mean, he was literally on the line. So to lose the fuel as he hit the line, I can imagine that's a lot more frustrating than if it was the last corner, for instance. Because at least you know you can't do anything about it. Whereas on the line, you're literally there.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate. I mean, the guys, all of them tonight, really showed what they're capable of. If not, a few of them probably could have capitalised a little bit more. But we said from the get-go, didn't we, at the start of this race, that Spencer would have struggled to keep the fuel where it needed to be able to stay out because he was pushing the car all the way to the end.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, he had to gun it round that lap to catch up to the field as well. 2 laps to catch up to the field, really. So, yeah, it burnt through. I don't know whether there was any advantage either way, but we had some great racing after the incident. Anyway, right, we'll start with the interviews. We will bring in our feature race winner, and I think you got 3rd place, was it, in the first race, Stephen?
Second, I think.
Second,
Oh,
second,
this,
Stephen Walker. Sorry,
This one
go on.
goes to Russ.
No, we're not going to torture Russ, even though we all want to. So, second race we'll talk about first. No, we won't. We'll talk about the first one. So, you did a great qualifying, but those naughty boys from Geodesic, they are super fast, aren't they?
Yeah. They slipstreamed each other, and I was on a quick lap. It wouldn't have put me above them, but it would have put me a couple of tenths closer to them. Well, a couple of tenths off them without a slipstream. But I just caught someone, and we ended up crashing into each other, which is my fault. But so I knew I would have been there or thereabouts, and that shade in the race. It was good to have. I think it was Simon with us in that first race. Until everything kind of like kicked off when we were like, right, who's going to finish where, and I managed to get past. I think it was Sam.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I can't even remember how I got past. If I'm honest, now it was that long ago. But I mean, I'll take it. And then I did try and move on Spencer, but this pace, yeah, similar. We're all quite similar by the looks of it around here, and trying to make a move on that, it was always going to be difficult, even with a run. They just picked the inside, and then you just left out on the outside to get destroyed.
Yeah, there was a few of them. I think that was how you did Sam at turn 1, to be honest, into, is it Tamburello? And yeah, you slung it down the inside, held the right hand, and then shut the door fully in his face, which is the right thing to do, I guess. You don't want them coming back at you. And, clean overtake. Race 2, completely different scenario. Where were you in all the crashing? Because I've not actually focused on your car. You managed to get through without any incidents. You didn't have to
Well,
join
it was
the train.
me going into the back of Matt that basically caused the full-on crash.
Oh, right. I thought we all thought it was Gary moving across the track.
Well, yeah, so as I was behind Matt, he got tagged onto the left, and that pushed him into, I think it was Chris Needham that was then on Matt's left, and that then pushed him back into the centre, and I saw it, so I let off, but I thought, I don't have to brake just because we're all still going a similar kind of speed, but because he'd hit two cars, it obviously took off more speed, and while I had let off, it kind of, the rear of the Elantra likes to be, shall I say, lifted. So as I zero times him, it unsettled him, and then he went off to the right and took out, half of the field, I think. I don't know. Other than that, yeah, that was it. I carried on, and that was it. So it was good fun. Obviously, I was lucky that I avoided it, but I did have a part to play in it. I'm not saying I'm solely responsible. It was just a racing thing at the start of a race. 4 or 5 car wide doesn't really go. But it is racing. It doesn't happen very often. I don't remember it happening before standing start or rolling start, and it can be just as bad on a rolling start if someone goes and then stops and then everyone crashes into each other.
Yeah, totally.
It was just one of those things. I think it was just unfortunate, but we yellow flagged it, and everyone came back round on the opening lead lap anyway, so everyone still got a race. So I don't think it was much of an issue, and it threw up different strategies.
It did, and I didn't know whether it would cause chaos and cause complaints about yellow flags and things like that, but it seemed to work out in the end, because those that did pit for their fast repair, I think, ended up having to pit again anyway for fuel. And those that stayed out and saved fuel under the pace car, some of them didn't actually save enough to get round. So Simon Trendle got pipped right on the line for, I think it was fourth place, I think. No, third place. No, it was second, wasn't it? Somebody's got him right at the end. So it seemed to be fairly balanced at the end of it all. I don't know what the feeling is in the races. Was anyone talking about
it? There was confusion as to what was going to happen with the yellow flag. Because I think that's the first time I remember it being used fully in the TCR race anyway.
Yeah.
So a lot of them, well, to be fair, a lot of us didn't really know what was going on or how long it was going on for. But once obviously it was made clear what was going on, it was like, okay, cool.
Right.
And obviously when you go in slow, yeah, you're saving fuel. And I was, as I was going around, I was like, can you now no stop this? I was like, in my head, I was trying to like work it out while driving around, because I accidentally I did an official yesterday and put in enough fuel for 14 laps, and the race was 16 laps, and I managed to save fuel and complete the race. So I was like, it's definitely doable. Like if I hit a target, but then when everyone's racing, and I could see when we went back to green, Sam was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, if he's going to do it, then I'm going to try and do it. And then when Spencer caught up, it put a question mark in it, because I was like, well, has he got enough? He's in the pit, so surely he would have come out with the same amount of fuel. I wasn't sure. And then he was driving off, and I was like, well, if he's driving off and he's going to make it, I don't want it to go. So I tried to pass Gary.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, no, he's going too quick. So I started saving. Oh, I carried on. I was still saving just in case. And I spluttered just as I crossed the finish line.
Right, okay. Almost perfect, you might argue. So
yeah, I was quite pleased.
Well, congratulations for your feature race win and for your third place in. Was it for third or second? I can't remember what you said again now.
Second, I believe.
Right.
Let me double check. Yeah, second. It was Spencer, me, and then Sam.
Right.
And then Simon and Gary.
Cool. I never get to see the first race results. You know, I'm kind of stuck in the current. But anyway, anybody you'd like to have a shout out to before we let you go? Obviously Russ, because he's been singing your praises all night.
Oh, it's not been doing that, has he? I told him not to.
I called your strategy. I said, I bet you he doesn't pit. I bet you he's been saving fuel as he goes around all these laps.
Yeah, it was slightly annoying, but then at the same time, like, well, if you're okay to figure it out and you can save the fuel, then it shows a bit more strategy, a bit more thinking, rather than just flat out racing, which is a good way. Like, we were flat out racing in the first race, so overall it was just great. Yeah, like, obviously thanks to you guys, Rust, for his first week in the booth, so well done, mate. My teammates, they had a really good race, my brother Matt, and then everyone else. It was really clean racing. Obviously we had an issue with the start, but it was just racing. I think I doubt it will happen again. It's quite a narrow track as well. It just happens. Shit happens, but
yeah,
stuff happens. But
it does.
Yeah,
it does. That's what racing's all about. That's why we turn up and watch it. So
exactly.
Brilliant racing again. We'll see you next time out. I should know where that is.
Nürburgring Sprint Strecker.
Thank you very much. And we will see you out in Germany next time round, Stephen Walker.
Yeah, cheers guys, thank you. Well done.
Right, next in the booth, and we're going to bring in our race 1 winner, and we're going to let Wobbly interview Spencer McCarthy and find out what happened and his opinions about race 2 once he's talked about race 1. Over to you, Wobbly.
Yeah, so we blame it all on you, Spencer.
Thank you very much, Wobbly.
So how was your first race, mate? It seemed like you, Sam, and Steve were having a hell of a battle.
It was great fun, wasn't it? I mean, those side by side for like half the lap with Sam was brilliant. More 0x's racked up. But yeah, that was really good, that battle. Obviously, I lost the lead to start with, which I went a bit hot into T1, trying to sort of keep everyone away, because I don't think I got the best start. And then Sam obviously then wandered past as I was having an issue. It was a good battle.
It looked like you and Sam were on a completely other level during qualifying, and just as the last couple of races, you both were really quick. Is there any secret to your setup, or is it just plain dumb luck?
Hey. No, so we haven't really been doing any slipstreaming. I must admit, the last kind of few qualifyings and stuff, but this time I don't know. I kind of left the pits with him, and then thought, well, he let me follow him for a couple of laps, and then we were kind of sort of playing nice, and then so I gave him some laps behind me. So it was just kind of we just kind of buddied up really in qualifying. But I guess in theory, I mean, I could have done that with anyone really, because it's anyone that was relatively quick, I would have done the same thing for nowadays because we know everyone. But yeah, it just ended up that way. And I ended up getting a decent lap quite early on because I think I got Sam's toe, and then there was a couple of cars ahead of me which dragged me around a bit more. And once I got that early lap in, I was like, well, if it gives me pole, it gives me pole. And then I just tried to help Sam improve, really.
Okay, cool. And well, the big elephant in the room. Who are we gonna blame for the incident?
We're gonna blame Stephen Walker for not lifting.
Oh, that's good. Never. Well, Pete knows lifting is for pussies.
Yeah, never lift.
Okay,
I had
okay,
that
never lift.
screamed in my ear for lap after lap of Daytona.
Well, I think it's one of these cars are a bit. And we're obviously it's kind of the Elantra Cup, but not always. Obviously, because you got the the legends out there like Simon Trendle and Jamie and Gary Craig or Craig Gary, who I like to call him. And in the different cars. But yeah, if you touch the back of an Elantra when you're in an Elantra, it seems to just pick it up like you stood a wheelbarrow.
Really?
I don't know why. So it's a bit unfortunate, and that's why we don't do much draft or pushing in Daytona races and that sort of stuff with Elantras, because it just turns them around. So yeah, that's what happened. I mean, obviously, I think Matt got rattled around in between Craig Gary and Chris Needham, I think it was, on the inside, and then he obviously just lifted a little bit, and then Stephen didn't, and then maybe he did, but just not enough, and then it just all of a sudden I went far right as I could, and then all of a sudden I just saw orange, just a triple screen orange colour appeared in front of me, and I was like, oh, okay.
You're welcome.
And then,
made that paint for a reason, Spencer.
It just blinded me, and then that was it. Yeah, unfortunate, but yeah, no. Thanks very much, guys, for I'm gonna shout tonight to you guys for trying to sort the race out and getting us trying back on the same lap and stuff. Obviously the pit windows kind of got a bit screwed, but that's just as it is, right? I mean, we still had a really good race, I think, hopefully, and a bit of broad, coverage of me sort of trying to get past everyone as quick as I could to try and get a gap for my pit stop. So yeah.
So we were wondering about that, like a final question. You all went into the pits and it didn't crush. Nobody stayed remained in the pit for a while to take a little bit of extra fuel, or was?
When I got into pits, I mean, I was obviously a long way around the lap when we crashed, wasn't I? No. So I'd only used half a litre by the time we were sitting there in the pit. So
that's a pretty good argument, and I didn't cross to my mind once.
I'm sitting there going, well, I could take fuel, but that's half a litre. So then once I obviously smashed cross, for 2 laps.
To be honest, Pete and Russ, it didn't cross my mind once.
No. Complete vacant expression here as well.
Absolutely. So I'm like, okay, great. So because obviously nowadays you don't even burn fuel sitting on the grid with the car running, do you anymore? So it's literally you use nothing until you actually start moving, and then we only moved about 100 yards. So yeah, but what the 2 laps, the 3 laps, we were hacking around trying to catch the field. Obviously I was doing 2 litres a lap when everyone else was using like a thimbleful.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Well, at least you got a good result in the first race, and you still have your drop around. And you ended up on like 6th, 7th,
5th.
5th.
Yeah, 5th. Because I think a few people did pit actually, even though they were they're borderline. They still pitted. They weren't doing the fuel save like the Walker legend and the Blees legend. They weren't doing the hard fuel save. So I think a few of them did pit as well. So got a couple more. Yeah. But yes, it is what it is. It was a good fun race, fun night. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on your first win on the first
race.
Yeah,
thanks. First win ever in the league.
First win ever. You never won a win.
Yeah.
So good job on that. Good job on ruining the fuel strategy for everyone on the second race.
Yep.
Well, let's hope for a little bit of a better result next time, right?
I think it's fun. Yeah, either way.
All right, cool, mate.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Right, next into the booth. Do you want this one, Russ, or do you want me to carry on?
Oh, no, I can do.
Yeah,
it depends who it is.
Well, it's going to be Sam Blees if I've pressed all the right buttons. So it looks like I have done. So over to you, Russ.
Afternoon, Sam.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah.
You just told me. What did you finish in race 1? Was it?
Third in race 1.
Third, yeah. How did you feel race 1 went?
Race 1 was fun and hectic, but I was a bit messy. It was a good race. It was good fun. Spencer was faster than me. I said during qualifying, I think I might want to put an extra click of wing on, and then I didn't. And you could probably see I was penduluming all over the place for about the first half until the tyres were warm.
Yeah,
it was. I got past him at the start, but that was just luck. And then I was holding everyone up for 3 or 4 laps, and yeah, it was good fun.
I mean, you had a blinding start at the start of race 1.
I did.
Was that you just getting the start perfect? Would you say it was a perfect start for you, or?
Yeah, it was a pretty good start. Spencer's wasn't brilliant. It was okay, but he didn't quite have the revs on, so he lost a bit of time. And I don't think I actually got past at the start. I think it was on the second lap, but it was enough to challenge into turn 1 and stuff. So yeah, it was a good start. But I got 2 good starts actually. The second race was similar as well, although that possibly contributed to the carnage that went on behind. But yeah, no, it was good fun.
I think the second start you got was good. How did you feel, or how did it look in the mirror to start off with at the start of race 2?
So I didn't really see any of it until I think it was Cap basically came speared across the track into Spencer, but I think he turned over the front of, well, Gary was there and someone else was there. I'm not sure who. I haven't actually watched it back, but Gary seems of the opinion that he was largely at fault, or at least partially at fault. But yeah,
it was more 4 cars into one.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, it's the sort of track that lends itself. There's quite a long run to turn 1, so any slight sort of differences and deltas in how good a start you've got are accentuated. So instead of just I got close, you're actually alongside. Whereas at a shorter run like Brands Hatch or something, you wouldn't be alongside, and it's slightly curved. So if you're right behind the car, you're often unsighted as to where the edge of the track is. So it's easily done. You know, these things happen, don't they? So it's a shame, but it was nice that we were able to do the sort of safety car process and get everyone back in the race. Because it would have been a shame, I don't know, 6, 7 cars out or something at the start. It would have been a bit of a shame.
Next question. Did you find that worked for the restart?
Yeah, in my opinion, we were just chatting about it a minute ago, actually. In my opinion, it was the best option that we had. If there was any way that it could have been a lap or 2 shorter, obviously that would be better. So I don't know if it would be possible for future to have the wave around done sooner, but I don't know until I watch it back if that would even be possible or not.
Yeah,
but
I think... had to wait until all the cars that had... Well, I don't know that I had to, but I didn't have the options available to wave round until everybody been in the pits.
Yeah, so that was my assumption, was that as soon as people left the pits, you'd be able to do it. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the sort of situation was with that. So yeah, I mean, you know, it was the best option in the situation. I think I'd be in favour of doing it again. Obviously, we wouldn't want to have every race have a safety car, because then you just, you know, you're changing the strategy. But if there's a big pileup like that, I think it's the best option. And I think actually probably as well, this is the longest track we're going to, I think, in terms of lap time. Mm-hmm. So at a shorter track, the wave around would have taken less time. You know, it wouldn't be... an extra lap wouldn't be 3.5 minutes. It might be 2.5 or 2 or something. So I think it would work better still at a shorter track. But yeah, given the situation we're in, I don't think there was a lot you could have done differently. So I was pretty happy with how it played out. And you know, we got something different with the strategy. You know, people trying to know stuff and get to the end.
Yeah, we noticed that there would be we were saying as it was coming towards the end that there'd definitely be 3, maybe 4 of you try it. Yeah. It's good to see that it worked for you at the end as well.
Yeah.
Right on the line.
I overdid it. I had too much fuel. I needed to start pushing a lap earlier, because I still had half a litre over the line. So if I'd pushed a lap earlier, I think could have caught Stephen because he was saving, and I didn't need to anymore. I'd done a lot of saving behind Jamie, and then after me and Spencer tangled, I saved a lot behind.
Was that after your classy drift?
Yeah. Well, it was just. I think it was just a misunderstanding. Like I was lifting massively, So he was coming up the inside, and because I lifted so early, he tried to come onto the racing line, but he did that and immediately braked. And I don't think we actually made contact. I'm not sure, but
it looked like you avoided it. But
yeah, I think so. It was no harm done. It was just 5 seconds that I think I lost. But I think that was the difference between comfortably catching. Well, I was ahead of Stephen before that happened. I would have
considering what happened at the end of the race though, or midway through the race for yourself, and to finish second. Pippin,
oh yeah, no, I'm happy with the result.
Disgruntled Simon on the line. Simon's probably kicking himself. That's why he's not coming to interview.
Yeah, I mean, his car looked very, very difficult to drive. He was much quicker. Like, he was much more on pace this week. He's definitely made a step forward, but that car looked sketchy everywhere. So yeah, he did well to. I don't know third in the second race, and I don't know where he finished in the first, but that's good results out of the Honda. And Jamie as well, he had good pace as well this week.
Yeah, they both had a good showing, to be fair, this week.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you want to say thank you to?
Well, thanks to you guys as ever for the broadcast and the commentary. I'm looking forward to seeing how the 3-man booth works.
Chaotic for Pete. The rest of us just me and Wobbly was being me and Wobbly as always.
That's what she said.
Avoid singing though.
And the fact that I'd muted myself when I was doing all the stuff on iRacing and then forgot to unmute myself for about the next 15 minutes. So you and Wobbly are going to sound like you were talking to nobody.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That's great.
That's
Is there anyone else?
To look forward to.
Yeah.
I mean, just understand. Thanks everyone for coming out, and just to repeat, thank you for making the call. You know, it's a difficult call to make in the middle of a race to go. Actually, we need to throw the safety car. We need to do it, but it was handled as well as it could be. And yeah, from my point of view, there's definitely stuff like we could learn and potentially do differently. Like if there was any way to get the wave rounds done quicker, that'd be great. But it kept 6-7 cars in the race that otherwise wouldn't have bothered because they'd have been 3 laps down. So it was the right call in my eyes. So yeah, well done on that one. And thanks to everyone for coming out and racing. It was good, clean, fair, fun racing as always.
Cheers, Sam.
Cheers, guys. Thanks, Ross.
Cool. Right. We don't have a Simon Trendle, so we are gonna fulfil the last. What should we say? Oh, crikey! I don't know what I'm pressing. The buttons have become alive. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So we've got no Simon Trendle. We'll fill the next 7 minutes up to the half-past mark with Gary Craig. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello. You nearly got a 3rd place in the second race. What did you do in the first race? Was it a 4th again?
5th, I think.
5th. So competitive racing for both your races. You kind of, I want to say you got away with it in the second race.
No, I caused it mainly.
Well, I think there's a bit of a split opinion about either you or Stephen, actually.
Well, I mean, I had Sam coming around my outside because I'd accidentally knocked my clutch just before I went to the grid, so I didn't have a chance to see that it was on the right setting, and it was a little off, so I spun my wheels and then bogged down, so I was slow. So Sam was coming up around the outside of me, so I thought, right, I don't want to get in his way. He's going fast, so I just moved over, thinking I had Chris on my inside, and I didn't realise that Cap was also there, that we were 4 wide. So I moved to give Sam room, and I squished Cap. And so Cap dropped back, and Wook full speed kind of turned him because Cap all of a sudden got on the brakes. So Cap wouldn't have been in the position for Wook to turn him if I hadn't have squeezed him. So it was still me, I think.
Yeah. Well, even after that, that being part of history, you kept it going and didn't have to stop for fuel because you saved under the safety car. Did you think the safety car worked from your perspective?
It did. On balance, it was probably the best thing. It certainly didn't feel like it at the time when we were halfway into the race and we hadn't did a competitive lap yet.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, because we give the extra lap, everyone else was back in the pack. So I looked down halfway through the first racing lap, and so Spencer was a second behind me. He's like, oh crap, that's just give them a massive advantage because they've gone around and got hot tyres. But yeah, they all had to stop. I didn't realise myself until maybe a lap later that I could make it to the end. So I started to have to play catch up a bit later on saving the fuel, and I actually crossed the line with 0.18 litres, and I was kind of coughing over the line. So
yeah, well, Simon Trundle got to the line with 0.00, so
yeah.
Chipped. Yeah.
I realised a little early enough that I could do it, but it involved saving every lap, whereas Sam realised straight away and saved in the first laps, which meant he could push 2 laps at the end, whereas I pushed 2 laps at the start and then had to save like crazy.
Okay. And we've got Nürburgring Sprint Stracker next time round, which is going to be an interesting one for you. Any experience of driving around there? I think you've got loads, haven't you? Because I've driven it with you before.
Yeah, I don't like Nürburgring. I'll be putting more practice into Daytona, I think.
Right, fair enough. When is Daytona? It's like February or something.
Snow?
No, is it early? Is it soon?
Yeah, I think it's like the next. I think because the officials are there next week. I think the roll
24th of January.
Oh, is it a bit later?
I thought it was a bit later.
No, the 19th is the Roar.
Okay, so it's the weekend. Okay, so we got this week to do officials, then the Roar's the week after, so we've technically got 2 weeks of Daytona. Okay.
Well, if you're going to practice that, you need to let me know. Because I'll be joining you.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely be doing Daytona. I'm trying not to practice as much in general because I don't want the league taking over all my time again. But at the start of the season, I'm having to just to get back up to speed a bit. So yeah, having to split between officials and the league, I'll probably not do too much league practice, and I don't like Nürburgring next week. So
no, fair enough.
Get my excuses in early.
Well, yeah, and because if I whisper, Wobbly can't hear. And I can't take the amount of abuse I took last time we were at Daytona with the go faster Pete, it's the right foot Pete, blah, blah, blah. Don't invite Wobbly.
Well, I wasn't planning on racing it anyway.
That's all right.
Okay. So now we can invite him and he can't do it, so we don't look so bad.
Yeah.
Do you fancy doing Daytona, Wobbly?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Sweet. We'll see if we can find you a team.
I'll just drive it solo, no worries.
Oh dear, funny stuff. Anyway, again, very entertaining night's race, and even if you did cause all the ruckus in the second race, it was entertaining for us, if nothing else. I did happen to mute myself whilst I was working on iRacing, waving people around, and forgot to unmute myself. So that'll be interesting to listen.
Is that so people couldn't hear the cogs whirring in your head as you were trying to find the right buttons?
Yeah, it's a good thing you can't smell burning through a broadcast, isn't it? But
I could smell something funny.
Yeah, that's the.
That was Wobbly.
I was going to say that's Wobbly and all what he was talking. Anyway,
that's what she said.
Hey, we'll see you next time out at Nürburgring, less practiced than you will be for Daytona. Gary Craig.
Cheers, thanks guys. Sorry again to everyone. That was on me.
Cool.
It was on you.
It was. I don't like it.
Oh, he's gone. I flushed him. Right, we've got to the end of our time, guys. And tonight's going to be a bit unique for this season. Apologies to anybody waiting for an interview that's still in the booth there, in the interview room. We can't get everybody this week. We would like to, but we can't. So now we've got the onerous task of voting for Driver of the Evening. Now, given the fact that so much has happened, it's going to be a bit of a challenging vote.
Can I go first?
I think you should, because we're going to leave Russ to go last. He's never done this before, so this might give him some interesting information to make his own decision up. So off you go, Wobbly.
Yeah, so I've been going back and forth between one of the S's, between Sam Spencer and the other Simon. Thank you.
Stephen.
This is going to end up in a quite good story. So anyway, so going back and forth. Also, some other guys like a Chris Needham who did a really good job. Tony coming in ninth as well again. So all did an amazing job. But my vote is going to Simon because he got back up to the field. Got back to the front of the field where he belongs. So my vote was
right. Okay, yeah, cool. Before I do mine, I'm going to actually add that to the points because I got shown how to do it. Well, he says this with utter confidence. So, where is... Oh, I have to choose the right league, don't I? That's right. Do that, and search, and then find Simon Trundle and add a point.
I love the fact that he's just rambling to himself, Ross. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah, I know.
I've been rather than a driver.
Yeah. So
I've been in your house for like 3 days in a row. I know you ramble to yourself,
yeah,
mate.
always. So Wobbly, while I'm doing mine, if you can go and check the website, it should have updated if I've done all the right things there, and Simon should have a point.
I'll check.
I'm gonna work my way down to Chris Needham. So he had a bit of a troublesome race in the second one, in the fact that he was in all that carnage. But in the first race, he was really competitive, and that's the first sign of his GT4 level of performance that I've seen in the TCR, and I think it's starting to come to him now. So my vote is going to go to Chris Needham tonight. Let me find Chris on here and give him a point.
You updated it correctly.
I did, right? Okay, excellent. And that passes us on to Russell. Russell, who are you going to vote for your driver of the evening?
So it's quite hard actually.
It's tough, isn't
I'm
it?
trying to not do a Sir Alan Toon and pick my teammates.
Yeah.
But,
Roger Moore.
I'm
Come on, Hardy.
I'm going to put a vote out for Carl, even though he wasn't here. No, I'm finding it hard to look past how what dealt with fuel in that last race.
Mm-hmm.
The strategy worked perfectly for him. Like, as he said before, it wasn't really until they noticed that the safety car was still going around that he might need to fuel save.
Yeah.
The fact that was lap 2, and we had the safety car out, and they was thinking from lap 2, do I need to save fuel?
Yeah.
And still managed to get the end on one lap, with no pits. As I said during the race, it was something that I was already thinking when we saw him go through. Maybe they don't need to do it, and knowing what he's capable of. But then I don't want to pick my teammates. No, I'm going to go with Stephen just because he had the thought of, do I save fuel from the get-go? He'll shout at me now for picking him, by the way. Saving fuel from the get-go was just clever. It was good thinking. It's the sort of strategy you'd expect to see Sam and Spencer use to do and get the win with it. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Stephen.
Awesome stuff, and very logical choice that is.
Very good choice, Alan.
Yeah.
I'll take that tenner off him later.
Yeah. Well, that brings our broadcast to a close, folks. Again, apologies to anybody waiting in the interview room that had something to share. Hopefully you'll get captured in a future race. Next time out, we are at Nürburgring Springstrecke, like we've already mentioned.
Nürburgring Springstrecke!
That's the one.
Okay.
V8ESC will return, folks. That we have not decided when it's going to return just yet, but it will for its 13th season. It's a very long-standing series, that one. But for tonight, TCR's round 5 and 6 is complete, and we will see you next Wednesday. I'll say good night. Leave you Wobbly and Russell in that order to say good night, and see you next time. Good evening, everybody, and good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.